In 2009, Tommy Wirkola released the epically hilarious and equally gory Norwegian-based Nazi zombie film, Dead Snow, combining real-life mythology and history with original ideas, basing his monsters on the Norwegian Draugr of legend, and openly drawing from World War II Nazi history, whilst injecting the plot with an extremely talented and comedic set of actors, and openly drawing influences from classics of the horror genre, especially The Evil Dead 2, which is mentioned in Easter egg-style format more than once. Dead Snow is an exceptional standout in a genre that has become overly saturated and overplayed: zombie films. A group of medical students travel to the mountains for an Easter getaway, while their friend Sarah is cross-country skiing and plans on meeting them. The film begins with Sarah fleeing from and eventually succumbing to Nazi zombies. The movie then follows the leads. Vegar Hoel as Martin, Stig Frode Henriksen as Roy, Charlotte Frogner as Hannah, Lasse Valdal as Vegard, Kasseth Rosten as Liv, Jeppe Lorsen as Erlend, and Jenny Skavlan as Chris, as they romp about and enjoy their time in a winter wonderland. I apologize for any and all mispronunciations. At night, the group meets a mysterious hiker who tells them the history of the region. During World War II, a group of Einsatzgruppen, led by Standartenführer Herzog, occupied, abused, tortured, and brutalized the local population for 3 years. Near the war's end, the soldiers looted all of the town's valuables. The citizens rose against Herzog's forces, killing many. The survivors fled to the mountains and supposedly froze to death. The hiker leaves and is slain that night by a Nazi zombie. Erlend finds an old wooden box in Cabin in the Woods Evil Dead-ish genre format in a chamber beneath the floorboards. Shenanigans and partying continue until Chris is attacked and killed by a zombie. It is not that the first half of this movie is boring. It is enjoyable, full of a steady supply of character development and humor, but it is definitively slower and more boring than the second half, which goes all out in its brutality, comedy, and gore, continually building momentum until a grand and well-executed finale. Vegard, while searching for the never-having-arrived Sarah, falls to the side of a mountain and into a snow cave, where he finds German firearms, helmets, Sarah's severed head, and a grand plethora of Nazi memorabilia. He has a grand melee with a pair of zombies, in which he ends up battling and hanging via zombie intestine over the edge of a cliff. Vegard manages to triumph. Although he has been bitten in the neck, he is able to patch himself up and mounts an MG-34 machine gun to his ride. One by one, our protagonists are slain, in a variety of over-the-top and honestly quite gory kills, as a steady supply of Nazi zombies rise against them. The Nazi zombies are also consistently and brutally slain. So to give the squeamish a gore warning would well come with the territory here, but I will definitively say it. This is a very gory and very over-the-top, gore-filled horror film. And although the kills and gore are always, in my opinion, tastefully and comedically done, they are indeed brutal. After more kills and gore, the remaining 4 decide to split up, with Martin and Roy attempting to distract Herzog's troop while Hannah and Liv run for the cars. Liv is eventually gutted alive, in the middle of which she is shown to wield a hand grenade, which she uses to immolate herself and the nearby gutter. Hannah is driven to the edge of a cliff where she and a zombie fall, and she somehow manages to survive. Our supposed remaining heroes set fire to the cabin via hilarious Molotov cocktail intervention, then escape, arm themselves to the teeth in a scene that owes visual homage to The Evil Dead 2, and set out to war. A powerful and very well done melee ensues, in which Vegard returns and mows down a great deal of zombies with his machine gun. Eventually, Vegard is literally torn apart, and Martin accidentally kills Hannah, who decides to grab him from behind while he is in full-on insanity melee zombie hack mode. For future reference, if you ever see someone in a blind and insane rage hacking a corpse to pieces, don't go grab them by the neck. Martin's arm is bit, and yet again in a great homage to The Evil Dead 2, as Ash Williams did nearly 3 decades before. Martin insanely hacks his own arm off with a chainsaw. Of course, in this case, it is to avoid zombie infection. This is brutally done, and very comedically done. And shortly after chopping his own arm off, a zombie rises from the snow and bites him right in the junk. Martin brutalizes the undead beast. More humor is made. Martin and Roy turn to face Herzog, who calls out a huge army from the depths. The two flee. Roy is hammered by Herzog, literally, and disemboweled by a tree. Herzog retrieves a watch from his pocket. Martin realizes the situation, that essentially the Nazi zombies are seeking their lost treasures. He returns the box from the cabin and gives it to Herzog, who then lets him escape. The film ends when a gold coin drops out of Martin's pocket, and Herzog attacks him to retrieve it. Tommy Wirkola believed giving the zombies a Nazi element would enhance and help define their horrific visualizations, as well as give them a concrete historical feel. And using the historical backdrop of the Nazi occupation of Norway does effectively define and breathe life into the mythology and plot of Dead Snow. And whilst Nazi zombies are in no way an original idea, these specific zombies, known as the Draugr, and injected with the mythological Norwegian lore that accompanies the historical Nazi lore, do stand as unique and original creations. They are horrific, brutal, and dark, much like the Draugr they are based on, which mythologically were reported as blue and coal black. Overall, Dead Snow stands as a genre masterpiece, within a genre that has become beyond overdone. When Hollywood is creating Brad Pitt-led zombie roms and AMC is blasting The Walking Dead every Sunday night, I believe it is safe to say the genre has gone into oversaturation overmode. Within this, there is trash, there is meh, and there is gold. And it is in this later category of gold that Dead Snow rests. I do have a few problems with the film, but they are all very minor. One being that I personally have not found the English dubbed version, so I cannot speak for the quality of it. But the version I have been exposed to is the classic English subtitled version. And while many argue this is the correct way to see these films, I can be lazy and do at times hate reading. The sequel Dead Snow 2 was filmed back-to-back in English and Norwegian, and since I speak English, and the acting is amazing and powerful, the English comes off as much more effective. The jokes are timed and executed with talent and perfection. And indeed, Dead Snow 2 actually in every way comes off as much more powerful and a much better film than Dead Snow. But that is a topic for a different day. If you are interested, I have linked my review of Dead Snow 2 and a mythological analysis of the Draugr in the description below, and in the cards on the upper right hand of the screen. All things considered, Dead Snow stands as a horrific, gory, and hilarious masterpiece within the genre, and paved the way for the epic and amazing Dead Snow 2, which would follow 5 years later. Thank you so much for wading through the hilarities and insanities of Dead Snow with me. I have new videos coming out all the time, so please hit that like and subscribe. And until then, keep sleepwalking, my friends.